Okay. Question 6. A group of 4 students is studying graphs of the function x squared plus 2x plus k equals 0 f of x. Each take an integer value of k. What does the integer value of k mean? A value that is either a positive or negative number. And draw a graph of their function in a suitable domain. Maria took -8 and drew the graph below. Use the graph to write down the roots of the equation x squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. This equation is y equals 0. For what x values is y equal to 0? Anybody?
-4, 2.
Well done. X equals -4, x equals 2. Moving on, next question. Keith's graph passes through the point 0, 3, 2. What value did Keith use? Okay, well, what we're told is that they're drawing the function x squared plus 2x, and what's the last value again? K, is it? Lads, just somebody call it out. It's x squared plus 2x is a k at the end? Okay, so they're drawing out this graph here. F of x equals x squared plus 2x plus k, yeah? And basically what's going on here, guys, is it tells you that if the input is what value? If the input is 3, the output is, what's the output then? Guys, the input's 3, what's the output? 2. This here is output. 2 equals 3 squared plus 2 times 3 plus k. 2 equals 9 plus 6 plus k. 2 equals 15 plus k. K equals 2 minus 15, which is minus 13. So it's k. Now guys, I want to show you what happens here, okay? Oh wait, we'll do one more. On Alice's graph, the 2 roots of the function are the same. Find the value that Alice used. Now guys, there's a trick here, okay? I'm going to show you a trick. All of these functions, the 2 roots means where it crosses both lines. So it's usually here and here. Imagine I move this upwards or downwards. If I move it downwards, what happens to the roots? The gap between them becomes bigger as the graph goes down. When the graph goes up, what can happen then? It can only touch it once and comes back up. When this happens, you only have one answer. Everybody got that? One answer. Now there's something that you might know this, okay? Anybody remember the minus b formula? Okay. Well, that's the minus b formula anyway. Now, how many answers do you usually get out of the minus b formula?
2.
Why did you get 2 answers again? Plus and minus. Okay? However, if this part here was 0, would you get 2 different answers? Because you'd have something like -2 plus or minus 0 over 4. There isn't 2 answers there, is there? Because the plus or minus part it's 0. So in a nutshell, if b squared minus 4ac equals 0, you only have one answer, or equal roots. What does equal roots mean? The answers would be the same. It'd be like x equals 2, x equals 2. So, guys, using the minus b formula, what's the a value? The a value is 1. B value? 2. C value? K. Yeah? For those of you who don't remember, the minus b formula it looks like this in your tables. I'll write down that first. So it says whatever number comes in front of x squared is a, whichever number comes in front of x is b, and whichever number is at the end is c. Okay? Put this in and you get this. You get 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times k equals 0, 4 equals minus 4k, and then 4 equals 4k, k equals 1. You've never done that before. It's actually really difficult. Never seen a question like that before. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you next is, I'm going to show you 3 graphs, okay? Now the 3 graphs, this is nothing to do with the question, well, it's an extension of the question. The 3 graphs we drew out were, the first one was that one, wasn't it? Yeah? The answer for part 2 was k was what number? Minus 13. That's the second graph. And the third graph is, anybody? X squared plus 2x plus 1, because the k value is 1. Now look what happens when we draw these out. Now, if you forget this, what can you always do? You can use your calculator. Your calculator pretty much shows you how the graph is drawn anyway. So look at this, okay? The first one, you gotta tell me which one I'm drawing, okay? I'm gonna start off with x squared plus... What about that one? Which one do you think this one is? I'll say no. Which one do you think this one is? This one is x squared plus 2x minus 13. In part 2 of the question, what point did they say was in that? What was the point they said was on it? 3, 2. 3, 2 is located there. See it? Halfway between 2 and 4 and up 2. Let's choose another one. Now remember, it was minus 13 the first time at the end, yeah? I'm now going to do y equals x squared plus 2x, because that's always the same, isn't it? For this question. And then we're going to do minus 8. Now look what happens this time. What happens when the last value decreases? So what I'm trying to get at is this. What happens when the k value gets bigger? So for instance, we start off with minus 13 and we had a really big dip, didn't we? Then we went to minus 8 and we start going upwards. What happens when we change it to 1? What's going to happen again? It's going to go up by 1. It's going to keep going up. Now, if you look at this graph here, okay, look at where they cross the y-axis. One of them crosses at minus 8. Which one's that again? X squared plus 2x minus 8. The other one crosses at minus 13. Where do you think this one's going to go? If it's x squared plus 1. It's going to cross at 1. So y equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. And look, there it is there. So we can see that all graphs are the same shape, but what is really happening? The graph is just getting shifted up and down, isn't it? I wonder if I can grab this graph. I'll see if I can grab it actually. Let's see if I can move it. No. By the looks of it. Look at this. It fits in exactly, doesn't it? So it's just basically getting shifted up and down. So basically guys, what I want you to realise here is that the end value of an equation, do you see this end value here? This end value shifts the graph up and down. Did you know that before? It shifts it up and down. What does the middle value do? What happens if I start changing these values? What happens then? Do you want to find out? We'll find out. Okay, so guys, this time I'm going to draw this. I'm going to draw x squared plus 2x plus, 2x minus 8. Then I'm going to draw x squared plus 4x minus 8. And then I'm going to draw x squared plus, minus 2x minus 8. And we're going to see what happens. Does it shift left? Does it shift right? We'll find out. Okay, so let's find out. So it's very important that you know this. Okay, so the first one is y equals x squared, yeah? What's it? Plus 2x minus 8. That's the one you have in your question, yeah? The next one I'm going to do is x squared, what does it say? Plus 4x minus 8. Lads, make a prediction. What way do you think the graph's going to go? The last number sends it up and down. What do you think about the middle number? Left and right, I think. Let's find out. Oh. The middle number sent it down and to the left. Changing the middle number sent it down and to the left. That's when we changed it to plus 4x. Now what happens when we change it to minus 2x? We're not changing the size of the number, we're just changing its sign. So we're going to get rid of the last one I did, which is this one here. Okay, so just get rid of this. Now, this graph here is, what's the equation of this graph again? X squared plus 2x minus 8. This time we're going to do, what is it? X squared minus 2x minus 8. Wonder which way this will go. Ah, to the right. So, if you change the sign of the middle number, you can change it from left to right. And what happens if you change the x squared? If you turn it into minus x squared, you turn it upside down. So guys, that's how it affects it. Guys, you don't even have to remember this. You know, all you have to remember is how to use your calculator and how to make a quick sketch. Then you can figure it out. Okay guys, back to the questions now. Okay. What we're doing here. We did that already, yeah? And we did part C. Now we're on part D. Draw a sketch of Alice's function on the diagram shown in part A. Okay, what's Alice's function again? It touches. We said it's x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now guys, sketch usually means that you're not being too precise. But if I have this at my disposal, I don't have to show the workings. What I can do is this. Table, function, x squared plus 2x plus 1. And it's going to start. Where would be a good place to start? Minus 5. And where's a good place to end? 3, because it has it on the graph. Now look at this. I can just start drawing points. Minus 4, 9. So I can do minus 4, 9. Can't do that, it's actually too big. Minus 3, 4. I think I can do that. What's the next one? Minus 2, 1. And then the next one is 0, 1. Sorry, minus 1, 0. 0, 1. And then that one there. And then I can just draw a rough sketch like this now, can't I? So, there you go. It's not really a sketch, is it? Because we actually know exactly where we're meant to go. It's much more accurate. Okay? Moving on. Done. Okay, what's the last part? Emma graphs the roots of her function minus 5 and 3. Find the value of k that she used. Well guys, remember what we did in the first part. Okay? In the first part, what did we say the roots were when we got this? Remember we sketched this equation here. What did we say the roots were? Answer to part 1.
Minus 4 and 2.
Minus 4 and 2. Now look what happens when you go backwards. When you go backwards, look what happens. We get x plus 4 equals 0. And we get x minus 2 equals 0. Then we multiply x plus 4 by x minus 2. And look what happens. We're going to get x bracket x minus 2 plus 4 bracket x minus 2. Multiply it out. x squared minus 2x plus 4x minus 8. And what do we end up with, guys? We end up back with the original equation. The equation we sketched. So what we're going to do here is the same thing. It says that the roots of our function are minus 5 and 3. Anytime you see that word, roots of a function, it means the x values. X equals minus 5, x equals 3. What's the next step? Move them over, we get x plus 5 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. Next step after that, x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 3 equals 0. Multiply them out. We get x bracket x minus 3 plus 5 bracket x minus 3 equals 0. Multiply out. X squared minus 3x plus 5x minus 15 equals 0. X squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. That's the graph we drew. And what's the k value there for, guys? K value is minus 15. Is that okay? Minus 15. Let's continue. Now, this one. Alright, how'd you prove that it's linear? What's another word for a linear? A linear sequence. Is this a linear sequence? Is the gap between each number the same?
Yes.
What is the gap? 18. And how would I say this? The cos is linear because the gap between each of the numbers is 18. It remains the same. Okay, moving on. Part B. Draw the graph of electricity, show the relationship in units and cost of electricity. So guys, I need some people to call me out the points. Okay, will somebody call me at the first point, please? What I mean by point is just basically 138, 256. So 100 and then 38, isn't it? Now I have a problem here. I have to count how many of these I have. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Each one is worth 10. Okay? So knowing that these are worth 10 makes it easy. So what's the first one? 100 and what's 38, is it?
Yes.
There's 30, 38 would be around there. Okay. It's linear though, isn't it? Which means I can do the first one and the last one and save time. What's the last one? 800 and 164. Okay. 150, 160, 164-ish. Okay. Then all I gotta do is this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What? Oh, it goes up in tens. Sorry, went too high. Here, right? So, does that go through the origin? No. Okay, guys. Use your graph to estimate the standing charge. Do you know what the standing charge is? It's the charge you get without even using any electricity. And where do you think it should be? At 20 euro. Because when you've used no electricity, it still cost you 20 euro. Okay? Write down a different method for finding the standing charge. Find the standing charge using this method. Okay? I have a method, right? Here's the method. What does cost equal, guys? Cost equals standing charge, which you will call S, multiplied by what? Lads, what is it? It's going to be 100. It's going to be standing charge multiplied by number of units. Sorry, number of units multiplied by what, guys? Number of units multiplied by number of units multiplied by cost per unit. Do you understand that? Now look at this. When we use 100 units, what's the cost? 38. So look at this. 38 equals S plus 100 times, what do you want to call cost per unit? Give it a letter. C? Okay, C. This is equation. 38 equals S. I'll put S like this so we know it's an S. Plus 100C. Now, give me another point on the graph for 200, let's say. 200 is, anybody? 50? 56. Now look at this. 56 equals your standing charge plus how many units? 200 multiplied by the cost per unit. Now look at this, guys. What type of equation do we have here? We have a simultaneous equation. What do we need to do with the top one? We want to find out what S is, don't we? So we can multiply this by minus 2. We're going to get minus 76 equals minus 2 times the standing charge minus 200 units. The bottom one is going to be, minus 2 times the standing charge. The bottom one's going to be 56 equals the standing charge plus 200. What happens now? They cancel, don't they? And we get minus 20 equals minus the standing charge. So what's the standing charge therefore going to be? 20. So you can do it using an equation and solving a simultaneous equation. Another way would be to count down all the numbers. So you could go back to your original chart and you could say, well, okay, if it goes down 18 every time, then 0 units must be the same as 20. You could count down in 18s. Does that make sense? Alright, moving on. Is that all of that? No. Oh, we just did that. Brilliant. Write down a formula to represent between the number of units used and the costs for the given number of units. What did I say earlier? Total cost equals what? Equals standing charge multiplied by, plus units multiplied by costs per unit. Now guys, what is the cost per unit? Let's figure this out. Cost per unit is, look at it, when you use 100 units more, how much does your price go up by? So 100 units equals 18 euro. So how much does 1 unit equal? What's 18 divided by 100? Sorry? 0.18, isn't it? That's the cost per unit, right? Is everybody still with me? Okay, that's your cost per unit. So, therefore it's going to equal standing plus units times cost per unit. So it's equal to your standing charge, which is 20. So C, which we'll call it T, capital T for total. Total cost equals 20 euro for the standing charge. What letter will we give your units? U? Call it U. Cost per unit, 0.18. So it's going to be plus 0.18 U. Is that right? The table above does not include VAT. 1 month Lisa used 650 units. Her total bill including VAT was €155.50. Find the VAT rate on electricity corrected 1 decimal place. Okay, how much would 650 units cost us, lads? It's going to be 20 euro plus 0.81 multiplied by 650. What's that in the calculator? Was it? 137. Is that correct? 137 euro. Now, 137 euro is 100% of our cost before VAT. We have 155 euro 50 cents, correct? We have to find out how much bigger that is than 137. So let's divide it by 137, and what do we get? 1.135. Now multiply this by 100 and it'll tell us what percent it is. So what percent is this? 113.5%. So what was the VAT? VAT was 13.5. Moving on. G. Lisa is offered a new plan. Okay, and Lisa is offered a new plan. The standing charge is 36 euro, and the rate per unit is 15.5. Complete the following table for plan B. Well, guys, look, I have a plan here. I'm going to say that my costs is my function. Yeah. I'm going to say that 36 is my standing charge, which it is. Yeah. And then I'm going to get my cost per unit is going to be 15. What's 15.5 cents in euro? Can anybody tell me? 0.155. Are you happy with that? 0.155. Yeah. And what am I going to let x equal to? X is going to be my number of units. Now what do you think I'm going to do now to save myself time? Anybody know? I'm going to do it here. I'm going to use this as my function. I'm going to do 36.
Will not be plus x instead of times x.
No, because it's your cost per unit multiplied by the number of units you're using. That's why it's multiplied. Now, where's our start, guys? What do we start at? 100, and we end at 800. Look at this. Steps of, anybody? 100. 51.5. 51.5. The next one. 67. After that.
82.5.
You have it, do you?
Yeah.
82.5 after that.
98.
98 after that.
113.5.
Do you notice it's going up by 15.5 every time?
129.
129.
144.5.
144.5, and after that?
160.
160. There you go. Is that alright? Which plan do you think Lisa should use? Give a reason for her answer. Well, Lisa uses how much a month? 650, doesn't she? And how much does 650 cost her with us, or with the last plan? 137 euro. So, on the old plan, it was 137 euro. And what about the new plan?
136.
Sorry?
136 euro 75.
So you basically replaced X with 650, and you got 130.
6.75.
So it's cheaper, but not that much cheaper, is it? So look, we would say Lisa would use the new plan because it's cheaper for her. Is that alright? Now, there's also an argument to be made that it's more expensive at the start. So it depends if you use a lot of units or not. Okay? They love asking questions like these in mocks, and they love asking them in junior certs. Alright? Good. Right. Now, On your diagram for part B, draw a graph to show the relationship between the number of units and the cost necessary for plan B. Label plan B. Owen, will you tell me the first point? Actually, will you tell me this point here? Just remember this one for me. 267, and the other plan 800 and 160 would be the two ones I want you to remember. Okay? I'll tell you why. Just because they're whole numbers. Now, what was the one I said? 800 and 160. Just there, just slightly more expensive. And the other one?
267.
267. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 67. Okay, now look at this. That's it there, is it? Drive around there. What's the standing charge again, guys? 30? 36? Okay, so let's try this again. I'm going to try to go up to 36. 36 would be easier to get. 36 up to here.
Sorry to be intrusion into class time, but just in relation to tomorrow, because of staff meeting tomorrow. Tennis will go ahead tomorrow, but all other